today we begin on Killing a Tree, composed by an Indian English poet, Jeev Patel. Jeev Patel, who was born in 1940, he is a poet, a playwright, a painter, a physician, and author as well. He has written 3 books of poetry, poems, How Do You Withstand, Body and Mirrored Mirroring. He had also written 3 plays, Princess, Sawaksan, Mr. Behram, and he had held several exhibitions also, since he is a painter. So time to time, he organizes his exhibitions where he displays his paintings, and he earns a lot of admiration for his proficiency in that work. He lives in Mumbai. So in this way, he has contributed a lot to English literature, in particular modern Indian poetry in English, right? On Killing a Tree. On Killing a Tree by Jeev Patel expresses and very clearly suggests his grave concern for the trees, his grave concern for environment. He is an environmentalist also, who has time to time raised his voice to protect the environment for the conservation programs. Not only that through his poetry he had raised his voice, not only that through the poetry he had drawn the attention of the people, but at times he had been to abroad and participated in many workshops and in many seminars where he had spoken on it. On Killing a Tree, the title, when you read the title of the poem, then definitely first time when you read the title, you are perplexed to think on killing a tree. A tree be killed? Is tree killed? Yes, the poet is right. Why? Because children, when we say trees are living things, I think this is what you have been taught right from the beginning, right? That the trees are living things. Just like us, as we inhale and exhale, so do the trees. So when we harm the trees in one or the other way or in any way, what does it mean? We are trying to kill the tree. So this title itself is very ironical, and the poem is also ironical. Ironical in the sense that throughout the poem you will find that the poet is giving, he is sharing the steps how the tree can be killed. But when he explains these very steps, he does not mean to suggest you to kill the trees. By means of giving such steps, he is actually trying to sensitize the common people. He is trying to generate awareness among the people against harming the trees, against the destruction or felling of the trees. So this is how it is ironical. So irony is the chief literary device used in the poem. Do remember this thing. I hope it is clear, the idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here let us begin with the text first, then one by one we'll take up. And of course, in order to bring to you the complete clarity of the things what he has tried to convey, and to add to your knowledge, I have brought some links I will definitely show you. You must have observed people cutting down trees, but can they kill a tree? No, they cannot kill a tree. Why we say they cannot kill a tree? The poet has an answer here. Is it easy to do so? No. It's very difficult to kill a tree. So let us read the poem. and find out what the poet says. I will just make a reading of the poem first. And please listen very carefully when I read, however it is there before you on the screen, right? So that you understand each and every word and the idea behind each and every line. The poem has a deep meaning, very deep meaning. It is not a plain poem telling you not to kill a tree. It has a deep meaning. The poet has compared the humans and the trees. He has tried to similarize the two. And of course, since both are the living, so there are the similarities. So when we say not to harm the humans, then how do the humans have the right to harm the trees? Meaning, how does one life have the right to harm another life? So in this way, the poet has tried to put forth the idea of coexistence. Can't we exist together, we and the nature, we and the trees? Because we all are dependent on each other. You see that we inhale oxygen, we exhale carbon dioxide. And the trees, they inhale carbon dioxide and they exhale what? Oxygen. So aren't we dependent on each other? Why do we give a stress? Why do we give an emphasis on making our environment green? Because we have the means of survival through that greenery, through the nature. So this is how he has tried to bring out the fact that there is needed a harmony, a coexistence between the man and the nature, right? Yes. Now look here, what the poet says. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide, sprouting leaves. So hack and chop. But this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise cold green twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied, and pulled out, and snapped out, or pulled out entirely, out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed, the source white and wet, the most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. And then it is done, meaning then only the tree dies. I hope you got an idea what the poet is trying to say. Right? Okay. It takes much time to kill a tree. The poet means to say that the man's effort to destroy a tree is waste. He does not acknowledge the effort of the man makes to kill a tree, to destroy a tree. Because he says not a simple jab of the knife will do it. Jab is giving a cut with a sharp weapon. Simply by hitting with the knife, simply by chopping or cutting it with a knife or an axe, you think that you are going to harm the tree? You think you are going to destroy the tree? No, this is not possible. You cannot destroy, you cannot finish a tree simply by cutting it with an axe, a knife, or any other sharp instrument. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth rising out of it. Why? Why can't you destroy the tree so easily? Because the poet says that the tree has grown slowly. It has a slow process of the growth. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth. Consuming the earth, what is it consuming? Feeding. Consuming meaning feeding. Feeding on the ingredients that the earth provides to the tree for its growth. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Consuming the earth, right? The tree has grown slowly, feeding on the ingredients provided by the earth. With those ingredients, the tree grows slowly, it becomes tall and it becomes strong, rising out of it. The tree rises, the tree comes out, the tree rises out of the soil, out of the deep earth, and then stands strong. How does it stand strong? Because it is being fed upon its crest. Now, what are those ingredients which are being fed to the tree by the earth? These ingredients are crust, the soil from which the tree emerges, the soil from which the tree comes out, absorbing years of sunlight. The other ingredients are sunlight, air, water. The tree rises, the tree comes out of the soil, absorbing sunlight, air, and water, meaning feeding on the ingredients. The sunlight, air, water, soil, these are the ingredients facilitated to the tree by the earth, right? So the tree comes out of the soil, grows out of the earth, feeding on the ingredients as it absorbs sunlight, air, and water when it comes out of the soil. Soil absorbs all these ingredients, and then that soil helps the tree to grow. And out of its leprous hide, sprouting leaves. Out of its leprous hide is metaphor. Now, what is leprous? Leprous is from leprosy. Leprosy is a disease. Leprosy is a disease because of which the deceased gets white and black patches on the whole body, right? So in other words, you can say that the deceased gets a discolored skin. So here, the bark of the tree is called leprous. Can you see this? It is discolored. See the bark of the tree? It's rough and it's discolored. Out of the earth, the tree grows with its leprous hide, with its discolored bark, out of which are sprouting leaves. Many new leaves are growing out of it. The tree is cut from anywhere, but these small leaves, they keep on sprouting. Why? Because the tree has not died yet. The tree is not finished yet. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes.
Here I will show you a video, right? Where you will see how the tree is given a jab. Okay, when the poet says that you cannot do it with the jab of the knife. So what is jab? Look at the action of the man, what he's doing. You don't need an audio. Okay? What the man is doing, he is giving a jab. He is cutting the tree with the knife, with an axe. Yes. Now, have you seen the condition of the tree?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? The tree has been cut, but the tree has not been killed. So with the knife, what he means to say that with the knife, you can, just a minute. Oh, sorry. With the knife, you can cut the tree. You can injure the tree, but you cannot destroy the tree completely. The tree cannot vanish with the jab of the knife. Why? Because the remaining part of the tree is still alive. Because the remaining part of the tree is still being fed on the ingredients provided by the earth. Just as, for example, I showed you this picture. Suppose this trunk, the upper part has been cut, but this trunk is still alive. And many small branches are growing. So now what is the killing of the trees then? How is the tree killed? Here you will see an example. Just a minute. Just a minute.
That was so cool.
I hope you have seen in the picture, right? Yes, children, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have seen in the picture what is uprooting, what is killing the tree. Killing the tree is when actually it is uprooted. It is uprooted, meaning it is completely dug out of the earth along with its roots, right? Then actually it is considered that the tree is completely destroyed. But the trees are such living things, children. Even when I personally feel, even when the tree is uprooted, its seeds are left somewhere in the soil. If not at that place, somewhere else, these leaves will sprout up. The saplings will grow, and one day they would become tall trees. So that's how the poet means to say, we cannot kill a tree. So don't try to kill a tree. Don't try to destroy a tree. We cannot kill. Here one thing I remember, if you people have noticed, कभी आपने notice किया है कि किसी किसी की छत पे पीपल के छोटी छोटी branches दिखाई देती हैं? Have you noticed?
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it? So you see that what it is. The people tree has been cut. The people tree has been destroyed on the soil, on the ground, but its branches have outgrown and spread at various places. So how can we destroy a people tree completely? We cannot, because its branches have spread all over. So this is what the poet means to say. Why to put in this effort? Why to waste the human energy in destroying the trees? We cannot destroy the trees. So instead of destroying the trees, we should try to protect them. We should try to conserve them. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt in this stanza?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Okay. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. When the poet says to hack and chop, it does not mean that the poet is asking the humans to hack, to cut and chop the tree. He means to say that the humans, they hack, the man hacks, the man cuts the tree, but simply by cutting the tree with a sharp weapon, with a sharp tool, is not going to destroy the tree completely. Not so much pain will do it. Now, there are two interpretations of this line. Please try to understand, right? Not so much pain will do it. The poet is telling the humans not to take so much pain, meaning not to make so much effort to destroy the tree as you cannot destroy the tree. The poet also means to say that if you are cutting the tree, if you are harming the tree, injuring the tree with a sharp weapon or a sharp tool, it's not going to pain the tree much. Why? Because the bleeding bark will heal the bleeding bark. Now the bark of the tree, this bark of the tree has been called bleeding. Humans bleed, animals bleed. But how the poet has similarized the trees and the humans, because both are living beings. Actually, what happens, if you just scrap the bark of the tree, you must have found a white substance, a sticky substance. Have you found? Have you ever seen? That is called sap.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Yes. Yes. So when you scrap that bark, then flows out white sticky substance, sap flows out. So that's how the poet says that the bark bleeding. When you cut the branches of the tree, when you try to destroy the tree, then the bark of the tree bleeds. But this will heal. But that wound, it is just like the wound on a human body. But that wound of the tree, that bleeding bark, that would heal naturally. So you cannot destroy the tree. How it would heal naturally? When from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs. The tree would become healthy soon. The tree would recover from that wound very soon, and close from the ground, from the bottom nearby to the tree, you will find green twigs, green branches of the tree growing, and miniature boughs, miniature small boughs, small branches, small trees. you will find small saplings, you will find small trees growing to near to the bottom of the tree, which if unchecked will expand again to former size. And these miniature boughs, if they are not checked by humans, if the humans allow them to grow, that once they will expand, meaning they will grow. They will grow again to former size. What is that former size? Yes, what do you understand by the former size? Former size is whose size? Yes, children?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Yes?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
I said former size. The poet says, these miniature balls, these small trees, they grow themselves, right? And if they are not checked, then they will grow again to former size. They will grow to what? Former size refers to whose size?
Ma'am, ma'am in earlier the size in earlier ma'am मतलब जो जिस size के वो पहले थे उस size के हो जाएंगे.
Yes. So what was that size? What was that? Okay. I'm not asking you the size, but I'm actually asking you, what does it mean, former size? It is tree. All right. As long as they are small, they are not trees. They are boughs. Right? Gradually, they will grow and they will grow into the former size, meaning they will grow into the tall trees. They will grow into the tall trees which have been cut. Do remember, not destroyed, not killed, but the trees that have been cut. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Here you see that when we say that the bleeding bark, right? Usually we find white sap flowing out of the tree. But something very interesting when I was exploring on the internet, I came across, I would like to share with you. There is a dragon blood tree, right? This dragon blood tree, it is found in Yemen. And what it is, when they scrap the bark of this tree, yes, it is a red sap that flows out. I'll just show you this. It's something very interesting I came across. Yes, please see this. Yes.
A rock 6 miles in diameter and
Read the information carefully. These are dragon blood trees. Yes, there was another. You must try to explore yourself. Just type dragon blood tree. You will find the red raisins flowing out of the tree, right? Yes, is that clear? This stanza.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any problem here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. Now here the poet is giving the steps one by one, how the tree can be killed. If the humans, they want to kill the tree, it is not so easy that you would simply be using an axe or a knife or any other sharp weapon and you will kill the tree. No. He says that the tree is killed when it is uprooted, when its root is pulled out. Why? Because the root is the base. The root is the source. The root is the strength. It is the root that makes the tree stand up fixed on the earth, children. Right? So the root is to be pulled out. He says, no, meaning, no, you cannot kill the tree otherwise unless the root is to be pulled out, unless because it is deep rooted deep in the earth. So its root has to be pulled out of the depth of the earth, out of the anchoring earth. Earth has been called anchoring. Anchoring meaning support, supporting earth. Out of the anchoring earth, because earth is supporting the tree. Earth is deep, which gives the depth of the earth to the tree to stand up fixed, and that's how it supports the tree. Out of the anchoring earth, it is to be roped, tied, and pulled out, snapped out. What the poet says, that it has to be roped, it has to be tied with the rope. The tree has to be tied with the rope. Then it has to be pulled out. Then it has to be pulled out. Then it has to be dragged out of the earth that is supporting, that helps the tree stand up fixed and strong in the earth. Because of which it is the earth that is supporting the tree, That's why when the humans, they try to kill the tree with a knife or with an axe, they cannot actually pull the tree out. The tree has to be pulled out. Now, one thing I tell you, children, that tying up the tree with a rope and then pulling it out, this is a very traditional Indian way of pulling out the trees. But in other countries, they have modern machines. I will just show you the videos. You will see that what is the process, how the tree is dug out of the earth with the machine. And you know that after that, the trees are not dumped in these countries. These countries are mainly Japan, Canada, US. In these very countries, they do not dump those very trees. They just transplant the trees at some other place where they are required. In Japan, the people, they just get up in the morning and they find a tree transplanted outside their gate. How nice. This is how the environment has to be preserved, environment can be conserved. So this is what he says, it has to be tied. The poet is giving this idea that it has to be tied with the rope. Why? Because he's an Indian poet. So according to the Indian system, the things which are available here, because we do not have those machines yet, right? However, now the development seems to be there, yet it is not very frequently practiced here. So after tying it with the rope, then it has to be pulled out entirely, completely out from the earth cave. Earth cave is that deep pit of the earth, the depth of the earth. Earth cave is the gap in the earth. So what is that gap in the earth? That is pit. That is the depth of the earth. So this is how with the rope it is pulled out completely from the depth of the earth. And then what happened? The strength of the tree exposed. Then as it is uprooted, as it is pulled out of the earth, the strength of the tree. Now, what is the strength of the tree that makes it a fixed?
Roots.
Roots, yes. The strength of the tree, the roots of the tree for the first time are exposed. We can see branches, we can see fruit, we can see leaves, we can see flowers, we can see bark of the tree, we can see the trunk of the tree, the stem, everything. But we cannot see the roots until or unless they are pulled out. So when they are pulled out, then actually the strength of the tree is exposed. It is bared. It is uncovered for the first time. It is uncovered. Why do you think that the roots have been called strength of the tree?
Ma'am, because they absorb soil,
Right.
water.
Very good. Very right. They capture, they absorb sunlight, air, water, soil, all the ingredients they capture and they hold, and they also hold the tree. So that's how they are called the strength of the tree. The source, the sources, the ingredients which are provided by the earth, white and wet, that sap and all the other gradients, and the roots which are white and wet at that time, they are exposed. When the roots are exposed, when the roots are pulled out, when a tree is uprooted, at that time, the roots of the tree, they are white and wet. The most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. They are the most sensitive part of the earth, which are covered, which are hidden inside the earth for years. Why the most sensitive? Why the roots have been called the most sensitive part? Yes, children, how are the roots the most sensitive part? Yes.
Ma'am, because if we uproot the roots from
Right.
the earth, then the
Right.
roots became die.
Right. It is the most sensitive part because the moment the roots are exposed, the tree will die. Right? The moment the roots are exposed, the tree will die. That's how it is the most sensitive part. Is that clear? Yes. Any doubt here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Here now you will see uprooting.
Did you know there's a specialized vehicle that can dig up and move trees with ease? On this episode, we bring you the Tree Moving Machine. The 100-inch truck spade is a specialized truck designed to dig up and move trees. How the truck works, there are 4 blades that are wrapped around the tree. The doors are closed around it and the spades are plunged into the ground. They stagger the blades going into the ground, then pull the tree right out. The spades and the tree are folded sideways onto the back of the truck, at which point it's transported to its new location. Once the tree is planted in its new destination, it should be staked and tied in 2 different directions to give it some stability. Should ideally be the same pH and have the same drainage as the old location. The transplanted tree will have a good chance of surviving if cared for properly, but it isn't certain. This is because a transplanted tree will have a lot of its smaller root structure cut off, so there's some risk the tree won't take to its new location. Now you're probably wondering, what does it cost to move a tree? 8 to 12 foot trees range from $200 to $1,200. Typically transplanted trees cost between $15 and $25 a foot. Now transplanting really old trees is possible, as well as big trees, but can cost upwards of $50,000. If you could transplant any tree to where you live, what would it be? Personally, I'm going to go with the yellow mangosteen tree, as they can take upwards of 20 years to fruit. Let us know if you've ever seen a machine like this.
Yes, have you seen that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. How the tree is dug out. This is the tree has been pulled out, but how easily the tree has been pulled out. With those blades, with the help of the blades, the tree is surrounded. But first a plate is put up around the tree. And then with those blades, it is just pulled out, and how it is relocated and transplanted. Isn't it? So this very clearly suggests that where is it that the tree has been killed? No, tree cannot be killed. Right? In fact, the tree can be saved. How? Why I'm showing you these videos? Because in case you get a long question pertaining to this poem, you should be having the ideas. You should be having the ideas to explain that how we can protect the trees, not by cutting. By cutting, we are injuring, we are harming them. But by pulling them out, we have to relocate and transplant the trees. That's how it would spread more the greenery, and it would conserve the trees. The number of the trees would not deplete. It would multiply, it would grow. All right, here is another video. You will see the process of transplanting. How the trees are transplanted.
Hi, I'm Barrett Fannin with Fannin Tree Farm. Today I want to talk to you about a project we're on in Flower Mound, Texas, where we're saving 100 trees by moving them with our spades and hand digging them and setting them up in a temporary tree farm. We start this process by working hand in hand with the developer to select the trees to be saved for the development. Once the temporary tree farm location is selected and the grid is laid out, we begin the transplanting process by digging a hole for our tree to be placed. After the hole is opened up, we can then begin the process of moving the tree. If the tree size allows, this is done by using our spading equipment. If the tree is too large for the equipment to produce an adequate sized root ball, we will then dig the tree by hand. Once the tree has been extracted, it is relocated to the temporary tree farm and placed into the ground. Once the tree is placed, we then backfill with sand and set up temporary irrigation. The trees will be maintained and cared for until the developer is ready for them to be replanted. If you're interested in learning more about any of our tree-related services, please visit us at
So did you see that how in the last so many trees have been transplanted without disturbing the surroundings, isn't it? So let us hope soon we will also get this. Anyway, no, the root is to be pulled out of the entering. Sorry, this we have discussed. Yeah. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air. Once the tree is uprooted, then it is just left in the open. Left in the open. Open for what? For scorching and choking in sun and air. Once it is uprooted, it is exposed. It is exposed to the sunlight, the air. It is given the time to get heated, right? And to wither in sun and air. As a result, that white and wet roots, they turn brown. Why do they turn brown? Because they start withering, because they start decaying, because they are finishing now. So the roots of the trees that were white and wet, now they turn dry, now they turn brown, they become discolored, they become hard due to the heat of the sun. And they are twisting because they are dead now. They are not living. And withering, they are decaying, they are completely decayed. And then it is done. And that's how the tree dies. That's how the tree dies when it decays, meaning it is lifeless, it has no life. Same is the situation with man, with man's life. When man dies, what happens? The limbs stop working. The body stops working. The color of the body changes. Isn't it? The more we keep the body, the longer we keep the body, there is a chance of decaying of the human body. Same is the case with the trees. So by giving this kind of description, what the poet has actually tried to do, the poet has tried to give a strong message to the humans. What? That they should not be killing a tree. They have to protect the tree actually. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you will go through the poem, read each and every line. It's very important. And if any problem anywhere, you will ask me next week, right? And please identify the poetic devices also. Okay, we'll discuss the exercises and poetic devices. And then we will begin with bond of love. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything?
Okay.
Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No.
Ma'am.
Fine, children. You can leave them.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Good
Good
evening.
evening. Thank you, ma'am.